Hey, it's me, Curtis P, and this is just another tech show. So starting off the week strong here, SpaceX had their big announcement of not only the BFR, but the very first space tourist they'll be taking to the moon. It was announced that Japanese billionaire Yusaku Misawa has paid for the full trip to the moon for himself and 6 to 8 other artists from around the world. They'll all be riding aboard the brand new BFR, which has been redesigned again this year. This is the third revision of SpaceX's interplanetary ship here. This year you can see it has different fins on the front and the back, and they've settled on a new configuration of 7 engines on the back of the ship. This first trip around the moon is expected to happen in 2023, though that seems a little optimistic at this time, since the BFR has never even been built yet and hasn't even flown yet. Now, currently SpaceX is working on building the BFR rocket in their factory, and then they'll begin to actually test fly it. That'll be happening all throughout 2019 and 2020. It's also expected that SpaceX will be flying an unmanned mission all around the moon just to test out all of the systems on board. But overall, 2023 still seems a little early and optimistic for the entire flight. Overall, the cost for the BFR is expected to be around $5 billion. Now, they've not announced how much the actual ticket for around the moon cost, but it's expected to be a pretty large chunk of that overall development cost. My takeaway from all of this, I'm really excited to see what the future of space travel has in store. If by 2023 to 2025-ish we're sending people around the moon, that would be amazing. And then hopefully within that time, we're also landing on the moon. And then maybe by 2030, we're going to Mars. Especially considering we haven't been to the moon since the Apollo program. So I think it's definitely time that we get back there. Next up, let's talk about Apple, because last week we saw the company announce brand new iPhones and Apple Watches, but no new iPads. Well, with the release of iOS 12.1 to developers, it appears there are some remnants of a brand new iPad in amongst the code. The code now suggesting there will be Memoji syncing amongst iOS devices, which will be interesting. It would be especially important if you had an iPhone that had your Memoji on it, and then you had an iPad that also had Face ID, which could of course support Memoji. You'd probably want those two syncing back and forth. Beyond that, there's also the initial setup system built inside of iOS. It's now referencing something called the 2018 Fall iPad. So I really wonder what that could possibly be. Along with that, there's also support for landscape Face ID detection inside of the new iOS 12.1 code, which would be of course important for the new iPads. Overall, the rumor right now points to an event sort of mid-October for brand new iPads. Going along with that, there's a number of different Apple related topics to talk about this week and really to look at for yourself. There's an interesting article from Sony Dixon about the AirPower charging mat that was released online. Overall, it goes into detail as to why the company hasn't yet released the product, and even going into detail on how Apple may use that trademark for AirPower for a new product possibly in 2019. You can find a link to that in the description down below, and along with that, there's a brand new video Apple released showing off how they made all of those really cool new watch faces for the Apple Watch. Definitely check it out because it's amazing to see how Apple actually created those watch faces. And the last little bit of Apple information you should check out today is there's an awesome article all about the old campus that Apple used to be in. The article by Wired is a great read if you have any spare time today, so check it out, link down below. Next up, yesterday was a big day for Amazon as the company announced a huge number of brand new products. So let's just quickly run through all of the different things they announced. First things first, they announced a brand new Echo Dot. It has a new design, it has a larger speaker inside, which is 70% louder than the old version. It'll retail for about $49 in the US, and it'll ship in October. Next up, a new product called Echo Auto, which will actually connect to your car's stereo with Bluetooth or an aux connection to bring Alexa into your vehicle. And don't worry, you don't have to get an extra internet connection for this device. It just uses your phone to actually get access to the internet. It can even send navigation requests to your phone for Google Maps, Apple Maps, or Waze. The device will be going on sale in October for $49.99. A very similar product, but for your home, is the Echo Input. It basically is an Echo device, but without the speaker system. This way, it has all the microphones built in and an aux output on the back, which you can connect to your stereo system. That'll retail for $34.99. After that, we also get a brand new Echo Plus, which has a brand new look. It has built-in temperature sensors. It'll be shipping in October, and it costs $149.99. After that, if you've been complaining about the sound quality of your Echo speakers, well, you can now buy the Echo Sub. It's a subwoofer for your Echo devices that pairs with the regular Echo speakers. It costs $129.99, and it'll be going on sale again, surprise, surprise, in October. After that, we see a brand new Echo Show. It has a new 10-inch display, better sound. It has a built-in web browser now with Skype integration. Again, shipping in October for $229.99. Now let's talk about some strange announcements at the event, starting with the Alexa microwave. It's basically a microwave that you can control using Alexa. It's pretty simple. It actually doesn't have a speaker or a microphone built into it. You have to have a separate Alexa device, an Echo, to actually control the microwave. Along with that, there's also the Echo Wall Clock, which is interesting. It basically shows you a physical representation of any active timers you may have with your Echo. Along with that, it also, of course, displays the time, and a fun thing here is it'll actually change time according to the actual daylight savings time, which is useful. You don't have to get up there and change the clock settings. It'll just do that automatically, which is smart. And beyond that, we also saw the Echo Link amp, the Fire TV Recast, Amazon Smart Plug, and the Ring stick-up cam all announced at this event. So tons of new Amazon Echo / devices that were announced. It was crazy, like 13 some devices. So apparently Amazon just dropped all of that at once. So yeah, if you want to read more about that, link in the description down below. The Verge has a great article that sort of outlines all of that. And the last thing I want to talk about this week is the fact that there are a ton of other tech-related events coming up in the near future. So here's a quick rundown of what we can expect in the coming weeks. There's a big Microsoft Surface event happening on October 2nd. LG is holding the V40 event the very next day on the 3rd. Then we skip ahead to October 9th, where Google is hosting their Pixel 3 event. And to go along with that, we also saw this leaked photo of the new Pixel Book, which will probably be announced at that event. The next day, Razer is expected to launch their brand new Razer Phone 2. And then the next day, Samsung is hosting their Galaxy event on October the 11th with the tagline, 4 times the fun. So there are tons of events coming up, and they all seem to be like right after one another. So get ready. The next couple of weeks are gonna be big and they're gonna be busy. And of course, I'll be covering all of those events right here on this channel, talking about all of the different things that the companies announce right here, so make sure you subscribe. Well, that's a look inside of the world of tech this week. If you have a topic you want me to talk about, you can tweet it at me. Otherwise, I'm Curtis Paradis, and until next week, everybody, hopefully you have yourself a great weekend, and I'll see you right back here next Friday.